You are listening to The Radiator, operating out of Burlington, VT. I'm your host, Abby BK, and now begins Rocket Shop Radio Hour, and we have the lovely, the Squandered Minds with us here tonight. How are you all doing?
Fabulous. Fabulous. Ready to rock.
A little hot.
So to kick it off, we usually like to start with a song. So what have you got for us?
We've got a song called Busted Low.
Busted Low. All right. Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, that's right. I started this song.
Squandered Minds. I love it. So do we want to just go around and have everyone introduce themselves and their instrument so listeners can get a sense of who's here with us today?
Absolutely.
All
I'll
right.
start.
Okay.
I'm Scott,
Scott.
and I play the tambourine, a little bit of piano, a little bit of guitar, and a little harmonica.
And drums.
Oh, and a little bit of drums.
I'm Greg, and I play some guitar, some piano, and sing backup to Scott, and anything else?
Bass.
A little bass, when our bass player's up in Craftsbury, and we don't have a choice.
I'm Alan. I'm playing the starter bass that my family gave me when I turned 30. 30 years ago.
I'm Phil, and I play guitar. I guess. What else do I do? I get in the way, turn up the volume too much.
And I'm Peter. I play the drums and also guitar, but not for this band.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome into the space. So how did you all meet each other? I know it seems like some of you have been playing together for years now, but what's your origin story? How would you describe it?
Well, I
We
mean,
were just talking
I
about it.
I
Sarah
was
Brown.
new in Burlington, and I needed friends, and I needed to play music. And I started asking all of my kids' parents, all of my kids' friends' parents, "Do you play music?"
yeah.
Scott played music.
Yeah,
and he
so
answered
first
the
Greg
call.
and I got together, and then Greg Allen and I got together,
Mm-hmm.
and then we auditioned Phil because he lived in the same street as Greg,
Oh, nice.
and he passed the audition. This was back in maybe 2011 or so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Phil had a bakery downtown. He said, "Well, we can rehearse there."
Mm.
So that was our home for
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah, we used to practice from 6, like around 6 p.m. till 2 a.m.
Wow.
And sometimes we went straight through. Maybe a half hour for burrito.
Phil used to maintain that the establishment had a live music license, and that meant that when we were there just privately after hours, we could make a racket and the police wouldn't come.
Oh, wow.
And
There you
it
go.
pretty much was true.
Yeah, no, they only came twice. Once, they came once because we were too loud, and once because Alan fainted.
It was a hot day like this, and I got a little dehydrated.
Yeah, well, drink that water.
Thanks, friends.
If ever you've been to August 1st, and
Yeah.
going back maybe 5 years, and you saw a drum kit up above the bathrooms, we called it the really high drum riser, and those drums would get coated with flour after a while, and all the byproducts of baking and cooking lunches. But yeah, that's where we stored our stuff, up on top of that bathroom, and
Oh, wow. So it was in the August 1st.
August
It
1st.
was August
yeah,
1st.
Phil started that bakery.
There you go. Okay.
And we used to play there, as these guys said, like till very late at night. We'd ride our bikes home through the
Yeah, you're not supposed to drive after 3 or 4 beers.
right, and we would play both in the bakery part of it and in the front of it, and even during COVID, we practiced separation behind the plexiglass shields that were in there. Tried to play with each other that way, and it wasn't quite the same, but.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we did most of the stuff. And there's also a barn in my backyard, an old carriage house. We play a lot in there too. It's a
Yeah,
fun.
that's our new
venue.
home.
It's the temple.
Right.
The temple.
But on days like today, it's unbearable with the heat. In the winter, you can ask Peter. Peter's band used to practice up there.
Yeah.
they tried insulating it, and it didn't quite do
Couple
what they
space
thought it was
heaters, a
gonna
lot of blankets. It worked until about late October. When it got
Yeah.
way too cold.
So in terms of rehearsing now, how often do you find that you're all meeting up to practice?
We don't ever rehearse or practice. We play,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we're not a real gigging band. We are. We're a celebration of like just playing music with your friends, because that's pretty much what we do. I mean, we've played a number of parties, but nothing so formal as to really call a gig, because it's not our thing. Our thing is to just get together and play. The way we believe that human beings have done for millions of years, just playing music, and we're trying to remember the words. That's what people have been doing for a long time.
Yeah,
Millions of years, tens of thousands of years.
hundreds of thousands.
We don't know.
We don't know.
And we used to just do covers.
Mm.
And
Then we threw off the covers.
yeah, a friend of mine sent me a book by a guy from Wilco, Jeff Tweedy, How to Write One Song. And so I went on Amazon for Christmas, gave everybody a copy. So then the songs just started slowly coming and bubbling up.
Yeah. And sometimes they were just instrumentals that maybe Phil cobbled together with chord patterns and things. But Scott, our lyricist, started putting melody and lyrics to it, and we're like, whoa, we have songs now. But it is true, we rehearsed for tonight.
We
have-
rehearsed a
have to
little for
admit.
tonight. Yes,
We did for a little bit tonight.
with all due respect, we
And-
did rehearse for this.
But beyond that, we just kind of figure out like what songs what do you want to do, and we do them. We used to play the Henry Street Block Party every year, and that was varied results. But the fun part of that is we bring other people up to play with us. So we had
nice.
neighbors and friends and people we didn't know coming up and playing any instrument they could carry.
Yeah. So in terms of like when you have ideas for originals, it seems like some of you will bring your own piece to it, but how frequently do you find that have a tune stuck in your head or a riff that you want to play? Like how often is that coming to you? Do you feel?
Probably once a month for me, at least. Twice a month.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's different for everyone, so I'm interested how that varies amongst different musicians.
Maybe 1 out of 100 of them catches, and Scott writes words to them, and then you have a song.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an opus running around my head for like 7 years that it's never really come to be, but I'm
We'll
giving
get
it
there.
time.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think the inspiration usually for the song is just we get together.
Mm-hmm.
Phil will play something, Greg will play something, or Al will be humming something. And that will get stuck in the head. And we're like, hey, play that again. And then we're like, we'll do some spontaneous ad-lib stuff while we're playing. And then sometimes we record it. And then we'll later go back and transcribe it and go, oh, wait, there's some words. And so we did that. And of course, we have thousands of hours of that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, you have to. Can't forget what you're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the intention is all fun. This is what we're about, is having fun.
Yeah, totally. And how did you come up with your name, The Squandered Minds? Because I love it.
I think Greg just said it
Did?
one day.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything. We were just tossing around names and it popped out. Something like that. We laughed at that.
And it stuck.
Our next album we're working on is a very squandered Christmas album.
Oh, there you go.
We're gonna do some '80s covers called
I don't know.
the Simply Squandered, right? Simply Squandered.
Yeah.
Very nice. So tell us more about that. When are you like hoping to put that out into the world? Some Christmas music, perhaps?
Yeah.
Oh, not till we retire and we need to milk it.
Yeah.
We have one song. Actually, Peter has the first song on the album.
So I joined because I'm dating Greg's daughter, Haley, and we like to sing and play instruments sometimes. And 2 Christmases ago, I think we did a cover of Baby It's Cold Outside,
Oh, nice.
but like the clean
Yeah.
version. I don't know if you've heard
Right,
that
the
version.
anti-date rape version.
And Greg recorded it on his phone or in there, I don't know where we were, but then he came up with the idea that we have to do a whole Christmas album.
There you go. So now you've spoken it into existence, and now
Yeah.
it has to happen.
Oh no.
Well, yeah.
I always remind them that Bob Dylan did a Christmas album, and I used to put it on at Christmas to torture my kids.
If you want to clear the room.
Yeah, and they still come at me every Christmas. Don't you dare play that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we'll see if it ends up working out or if you don't want that to happen. But we'd love to hear another song. So what's your second song tonight?
Okay, so speaking of songwriting, we had kind of a hiatus for a while. I was going off to Vietnam for a few months this year, and we didn't see much of Alan for a while. So Scott and I said, let's write a musical or a rock opera about this wonder and amazement that we all experienced, the total solar eclipse. And we just started coming out with silly songs about like how people are, buying glasses and getting all excited and all the wonder of it and all the anticipation and excitement. So we came up with an EP of five or six songs, and so this next one is kind of a condensed version of that.
Okay.
It's a little suite.
The rock operetta.
Rock operetta. That's right. And it's all in Italian, but but it's these are the songs. And it starts off with Prelude, which is the prelude to the eclipse,
Mhm.
and then it goes into a song called Total Eclipse, which is supposed to convey what it might have been like for early man and woman who had no idea what had been going on. Like they didn't have the benefit of having been told there's going to be a total eclipse or even what it was. So they're thinking like it's a punishment from the earth or from their gods or something. Like this is a terrible thing that's happening. What do we do? Please save us. And then it kind of comes out of it in another song.
Which I totally disagree with that ever happening, but it's okay.
We weren't involved. after all.
They had grandparents that had seen one before.
Okay. But they didn't have their phones to learn them.
They did not have their phones.
So,
Nor
okay.
did they need
So this
them.
is the Celestial Season Suite.
What the hell is going on around here? Our day started out with no fear. Now the moon is blotting out the sun. Are the gods mad at everyone? There is no way to hide from the doom. Here we go. I don't know why. Birds don't fly. A total eclipse in our sky. And we'll ask why, but we will try. Totally eclipse in our sky. Ego is consumption and greed. Turning on the lights, how shall we read? Mother, can you hear us now? Mother, can you answer us, please? Bring back the light, stop our tears. It's total darkness that we feel. Here we go. Don't know why the birds don't fly. A total eclipse in our sky. And we'll ask why, but we will try.
Squandered Minds. I love it. So how were your solar eclipse experiences? It was pretty surreal, right?
It was great.
Yeah, I was with my family on the UVM grain, and we had a view of the Adirondacks.
Yep.
And when, you know, it was full totality, it was like the sunset was going
Yep.
down, and it was just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, hopefully all of the descriptions in the song came true. So why did you choose to release this project? Obviously, you're like having like fun playing by yourself, kind of saying that you're not so much focused on gigging or anything. So what made you feel like, let's put this one out into the world?
Greg, question for you.
I asked, like, why did you feel that you wanted to put this particular project like out into the world on SoundCloud? Any particular reason?
Yeah, I don't know. Just we were just having, again, it was just having fun
Yeah.
writing these songs and playing them, and I think we did it. It seemed like we were doing it far enough in advance that we were going to have this done and produced, and like we would get invited to go to one of these events around town and perform it and things like that. But it just got there were so many things going on. It became such a big spectacle that, you know, we just recorded it for posterity, and have you know, condensed it into the suite and things like that.
Gotcha.
But I mean, the whole experience lived up to its hype, and so we feel good about that.
Yeah.
The event and the music experience.
Yeah, and it was actually, I mean, the whole thing, the writing and the experience, the whole thing was pretty emotional. So we were like, what are we going to expect? So that buildup of the songwriting, you know, when we were coming up with lyrics and trying to come up with melodies and all that, it was like, well, think about, you know, what's going to actually happen. You're not going to see the sun. It's going to get totally dark. And, you know, are you going to freak out or what?
Right.
So that's reflected in our lyrics.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because they say, you know, when the eclipse happens, some people do have like very emotional reactions to it. So, yeah, that's cool
Yeah.
that that's a part of the songwriting.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's lyrics in here that go into that, the emotional, like, you know, now I've discovered our star. So like, you know, it went away and now it's back again. And it was pretty cool while it was gone, but glad it's back.
Right.
And so, and yeah, and one of the songs that was just an instrumental that Phil had written was called "Parade of Survivors," and Greg said, "Hey Phil, can we borrow that?" And then Phil came back from Vietnam and filled in kind of all the beautiful guitar work, and then we had a whole song.
Yeah,
Nice.
Scott wrote the melody and the lyrics.
And it all came together.
Yeah.
So what was like the recording process? Do you just record at home? Did you go to a studio? What's kind of your process for that?
Yeah, so a friend of mine talked me into taking a home recording class for, you know, home studio recording on the School of Song, which is a great, you know, online school for teaching singing and songwriting and recording. So I took this class, and I mean, I had recorded things before using GarageBand, and, you know, most people just use their voice memos, but, you know, I guess I got good enough that we decided to use this home studio setup, and that's where we did it. We did it like on the third floor of our house, and we would have coffee every
Friday.
every Friday.
Coffee.
We'd get together, we'd drink coffee, and then we'd go up and write songs and try to record them
Nice.
and add tracks and things like that. And it was
Talk about the T-shirts.
t-shirts.
So Greg, in the class, he had a. You tell about the T-shirt. So he's a musician, right? And he's, you know, on the creative part, but he's also producing, and
Yeah.
he's, you know, got to do the garage band.
So this instructor of this class, Phil Weintraub, and he's, you know, he's recorded some pretty big names like Lake Street Dive and Andrea Linkletter, and so he was just coming off a session, and he said, "All right, so you're doing this in your own home, whether it's your bedroom or your apartment or whatever, but you have to separate it into three spaces. There's the engineer, and there is the the artist, and then there's the producer. So he would give homework assignments where you'd have to first come in as the engineer, and that was one T-shirt, and have all the mics set, all the sound set up. And that's very important to have that, all set up right, and then bring the artists in. So I'd put on my artist T-shirt, work with Scott, and then record and then produce. And the producer is, of course, different T-shirt because you're using different tools. So those are the T-shirts.
Greg held it all together.
Yeah. Well, it gets you into the zone.
The SoundCloud, too.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're hoping to maybe continue to record like that now that you're schooled and you know
Oh yeah.
all that you're doing?
Yeah,
Is that a goal maybe of the band now?
Yeah, we want to do that.
I think putting something out on vinyl is a goal.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So when we're old, we can remember these days.
Yes.
Although the vinyl plant
When
was
we're
down
old.
here, it's gone now.
Is it really?
That's what I heard. Yeah, they're not pressing here.
Oh, that's a bummer because I feel like
Yeah.
vinyl is definitely back in style. Everyone
Yeah, there
loves
used to be
listening
one
vinyl.
right around here somewhere in this building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Burlington Record. Is that the one that's no longer?
They moved
Yeah.
to Albany.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. Well, we'd love to hear another song. So, what have you got?
Okay, so this is a Scott original.
There's a song called Hannah. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Driving the back roads in a mystery state. I need some sleep, but it's not that late. Thinking back only a few hours when I left here in Austin with a head full of flowers. Drew a line in the sand, Hannah. You wanna stare at the sun for pleasure. Throw your head back and laugh, Hannah. Yeah. You brought me into life. I'm coming back from a gig in the Northwest again. Back to the coast and the golden light. To my friends, visions of you in the rear view mirror. Haunted me as I drive the moment I saw you. But this would not last forever. And I'm still missing you, Hannah. But doesn't matter, Hannah. You brought me into the light. You brought me into the light. You brought me into the light. Go Phil! You brought me into light.
All right, the Squandered Minds. So we are nearing the end of the show, but before we have you play your last song here, we always let you have a moment to provide people all your info for how we can support you. So how
Send
can
us
people
money.
find your music? Yeah, right. How can we find your music? How can we support you the best? Let listeners know.
I think the best way to support us is to follow our lead. People ought to play music together. They ought to just play. Make music day, stuff like that is right in line with what we've been doing all the time we've been together. And performing is kind of like, when did performing for other people become so important? You know, for thousands of years, people stood in the circle and they clapped their hands and they sang the songs all as participants, and that's what we're doing. And that's great. It's fun. It kept us sane for 13 years.
Yeah. Amen. That's what I got to say to that.
Instagram, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, there's also.
Yeah, a shout out to you guys, to Big Heavy World and
Thank you.
Radiator, and to Rocket Shop. You guys are encouraging and supporting Vermont local musicians, and all the great coffee houses that are propping up now that support local singer-songwriters and beginning singer-songwriters. So that's the best kind of support. I mean, is to just give a place for people that want to, share their stuff and perform it and record it and play it. Just having that kind of those kind of outlets and venues to do that. And you guys, I know Big Heavy World's been around for a long time, and you have a lot of archives of Vermont musicians going way back, which is really great stuff. So that's how I would see it supported.
Are you good? Yeah.
Well, thank you for the shout out, for the Big Heavy World shout out over here. But yeah, what have you got for your last song tonight?
This one's called Last Tango.
Okay.
You should turn this way a little. Yeah. That's yeah.
We play in a circle.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
In 84, I was 24 and shattered. I needed a place to rest my soul. Friend of mine, get on a plane, go straight to Paris. Otherwise, the bell will toll. Water is wide, river runs deep. I got miles
the Squandered Minds crew, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank
it was
you.
so fun to have
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Here.
Thanks for having us. This is great. It's fun.
And listeners, thanks for tuning in to Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Abby BK. Make sure to tune in. Next week, we'll have Ryan Sweezy in the studio. But as for now, that has been Rocket Shop Radio Hour, and we'll see you next time.
That was a ball.